If you didn't see this tweet, GQ, or I guess SNY up in New York, GQ put out a top 10 list of kings. Who is the king of New York sports? And that's right now. Number one went to Jalen Brunson, which is the most revisionist history I've ever seen. I would still say Aaron Judge at number two should be number one. Obviously, GQ didn't watch the Nets Sixers series of Mikal Bridges is number three. Saquon's playing on a franchise tag right now. He's at 4. Volpe's a rookie. He's a shortstop. Obviously, he's going to be up there top 5. Julius Randle absolutely stinks, has been a total non-factor in the series. He's 6. Francisco Lindor. Pete Alonso's a dork. Igor Shesterkin at 9. He's the goalie of the Rangers. And then coming in at 10, the $82 million man, Daniel Jones. So we literally, probably from the moment we woke up today to right before this pod in our Slack chat, have just been arguing about who the top 10 kings of Philadelphia sports are right now. So we each made our list, and we're going to go. Russ or Tim, would you like to go first? First one to say something.
I mean, I go first because I kind of did mine as I was holding my daughter. She was trying to sleep. It was a 10-second exercise.
Don't make any excuses for your shitty list, Tim, all right? Whether your daughter's in your hands or not. So, Craig,
I think my list is okay, 1 to 9, and then I just kind of – you'll see I put Carter Hart at 10, which was kind of a lark. I felt bad. I had no flyers, but they're so irrelevant. I went with Hart, though, at 10 because I think it's funny that as the Flyers finally identify and find and develop a franchise goalie, the rest of the franchise utterly stinks. Just perfect Flyers. I also didn't want John Tortorella to complain 3 years from now if and when the Flyers get good again that no one gave this franchise any respect. I wanted to make sure I had one Flyer on there so he could shut up and not be a sore head when his team does eventually start winning again.
So then Tim has Stott at 9, AJ Brown at 8, Harden at 7, Schwartz at 6, Maxey at 5. Wow, the young buck gets top 5. I love it. Kelsey at 4, Embiid at 3, Harper at 2, Hurts at 1.
Yeah.
Is there anything, Russ, you have when you look at that list immediately?
I think Tim copied my notes a little bit.
Wow. So
I'm going to copy your notes. I didn't even look at.
I know we are of like mind, and considering that you're better educated than I am, I take this as a good sign because.
All right, let's bring up Russ's list then.
I also had Hurts, Harper, Embiid, Kelsey.
Wow.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, then we have Brandon Graham at 5.
Hurts leads because he's the most important position on the most important team in town.
Sir, we will get into your list in a second. Can I please let the people know what you have?
Go ahead.
Brandon Graham at 5, Tyrese Maxey at 6, Schwartz at 7, AJ Brown at 8, Harden at 9. Very shocking to see that from you. I didn't think you were going to have Harden top 10. Trey Turner at 10, and then an honorable mention, Carter Hart, just to satisfy the masses of the Snow the Goalie listeners who might
Flyers
be
fans. That's right.
who might be listening right now. What sticks out to me here? Does Brandon Graham I know he cuts through the cloth. I think he's a top 10 guy. Is he a top 5 guy? Over Maxey, over AJ Brown? You could argue over Schwartz, even Trey Turner, the $330 million man. Tim, you can talk this after Russ talks about his list.
Yeah. The criteria, not the one that the Maestro tried to establish, because the Maestro sold his website and he's gone now. So his criteria are largely irrelevant in this discussion. It says the kings of the city. And so the kings to me says the people who are most likely to be recognizable, the people who are most likely to be interacted with positively by the fan base. You can make the case have longevity. Hurts is an absolute stud. Mm-hmm. Not a single person in the city of Philadelphia would walk into a diner or a restaurant or a bar, see Jalen Hurts, and not want to take a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Same thing with Bryce Harper. Same thing with Joel Embiid. You'd obviously notice Joel Embiid a lot because he's massive, right? Jason Kelsey, 100%, has arguably the best speech in the history of Super Bowl speeches. Brandon Graham is easily up there. Now, top 10 talent in the city? Absolutely not. Top 10 king of Philadelphia, without a doubt. Brandon Graham is one of the most positive role models in all of Philadelphia sports. The guy has a smile that lights up a room. He's a guy who got re-signed here, who came back off of, a horrific injury to, really try to push this team to another Super Bowl. Massively popular guy. He's absolutely a king. If you owned a restaurant and Brandon Graham walked in, Brandon Graham's not paying for that meal. He's just not.
Oh, he's paying for that meal.
He's not. Absolutely.
Has there been enough time since the strip sack that Brandon Graham now has to pay for a beer? Beer's different. A meal. Brandon Graham's going to Steak 48 in Center City. Now, if we're talking like some like Pottsville, bed and breakfast, yeah, maybe Brandon Graham's not paying for that because you guys haven't seen, famous people since, I don't know, the Pottsville Maroons were playing.
Good pull from you.
Thank you.
That's well done.
I got through 30 pages of that book
right.
back in the day.
Right.
And I put it down because it was so fucking boring. If Brandon Graham walks into a restaurant in Center City, I still think he pays for his meal.
I don't think so. Maxie is like the heir apparent to the smile that lights up the room and just brings constant positivity that you hear nothing negative about. So that's why they're coupled together. Schwarber is a guy who is loved in that locker room, right? Sure. Which we know about by listening to Crossed Up, the Phillies podcast on the Crossing Broad Podcast Network with Bob Winkle and Andy Sanfilippo. Schwarber, massively popular guy, good locker room guy, has the Schwarbomb drink with Wawa, has fully, Schwarberfest, the works. Massively popular guy. Absolutely a king of Philadelphia. Who else do I have? Oh, thank goodness. AJ Brown was my tough pick.
Yeah.
Because AJ Brown he had a couple of tweets this offseason that I think rubbed people the wrong way. And then he kind of had to backtrack on. But just by virtue of what he was on the field for this team in his first year and the confidence that he kind of provided to Jalen Hurts, he's easily on there. James Harden is on there because James Harden walks into a room, he's got gravity to him, without a doubt. He's got star power, star potential. You're gonna want to have a beer with James Harden. You might have to go through a velvet rope or two. You might have to tell your wife that you're at Delilah's for the steak special. But
that tells me that he's not a king of Philadelphia. That's not a king of Philadelphia in my mind. To go through a velvet rope and go have a glass of champagne with James Harden. James Harden is not drinking Michelob Ultra. He's not drinking Peroni. He's drinking champagne or he's drinking his new red wine. I don't think he's a king of Philadelphia. I don't think
he's a Yingling Flight kind of guy.
He doesn't move the needle, I think, in my mind anyway. I think people would just be just as happy with James Harden leaving the city of Philadelphia as they would if he re-signed.
Wow, that's a hot take. And then the last one's Trey Turner, Turner doesn't have the same kind of longevity, but I'm kind of basing this on what he is now and what he's going to end up being. Turner's just he's got something about him. Stott was hard. Stott was hard because I could have justified putting Stott in the top 10, but I don't think the talent's there yet. I think
Stott's in the 12 to 15 range.
What?
The talent's not there yet. I mean, this guy. Have you watched
over an extended period of time? He doesn't have the
next
track record.
Russ.
Well, I don't know. I kind of viewed it. I mean, this is obviously the why there's debate, right? I kind of viewed it as, what's now, not necessarily what's next or over a time frame. I just think the way Stott's playing right now and the way he frankly was playing last year. I mean, I told you I gave him credit. I give him the credit for the bat spike moment because he was the one who battled and really wore Strider down in that inning.
That spike doesn't happen without Bryson Stott.
When he changed his approach at the plate and shortened his stride, he became a much better hitter. And I mean, we're reaping the rewards this year. He has some elite bats. He was hitting well over 300. I don't know if he's cooled down from that, but I mean, every time I seem to watch a game, he's got 1 or 2 hits in a box score. Great approach at the plate, and you keep hitting in Philly, you're going to be very popular with people like my dad who, they love. I mean, my dad, he's one of those fans who just loves to root for failure. As a lot of cynical baseball fans around here do. And he really starts giving him nothing to complain about. And I think that's what really makes him upset.
Is that what we're weighing Northeast dads? I think that's actually not a bad.
But that's the thing, though, is you're saying about not weighing in the future. And but that's a big part of it with Stott. When we say Kings of Philly, right? Everybody who's on my list, and Tim, I would even say with your list, everybody who's on that list If you went to a bar, you went to a restaurant, you're going to recognize each of those guys. Even the football players who traditionally, you do do they have star power because they're wearing a helmet all the time? If Stott walked into a bar, if Stott walked into a restaurant, despite how good he is, despite how well he's played, I don't think you're getting nearly.
You're a
the
man,
same,
Russ.
the
How
same.
about the
I don't think
women
you're
of
getting.
Philadelphia? The
They
women
would
of
look for Alec
Philadelphia may
Boehm.
recognize
They'd
him.
be looking for Boehm over Stott in the first place, right?
You guys got your time. This is my time now.
Yeah, and ours were very similar, so I kind of want to see what you have.
All right. Kreger? Kyle's King of Philly Sports. Bryce Harper, number 1. Jalen Hurts, number 2. Joel Embiid, number 3. Jason Kelsey, number 4. Brandon Graham, 5. Trey Turner, 6. A.J. Brown, 7. Maxey, 8. Jimmy Butler, 9. B-Ball Paul, 10.
Jimmy Butler. I
Jimmy
was actually
Butler
thinking
is
about
number 9.
This is just going for reaction.
Jimmy Butler is number 9 right now. Did you not see the reaction? We've got more reaction from Jimmy Butler going off last night than we got from Tyrese Maxey the entire playoffs.
King of Philly Sports. He doesn't play a Philly sport. He's not on a Philly sports.
He is literally the king of Philly sports. He's the king of the radio right now. He's knocked off Bijan Robinson for the number 1 spot today. This is my list. He gets a king of Philly sports. The fact you guys we're talking about right now, who was the most talked about guys in that Nets Sixers series? Joel Embiid, James Harden, B-Ball Paul. B-Ball Paul had B-Ball Paul MVP chance at the Wells Fargo Center. And you guys aren't going to put him top 10? The greatest backup center we've had in the last 10 years? 911, what's the emergency? 2 girls fighting over me. What's the emergency? The ugly one winning. We're not going to put B-Ball Paul top 10? B-Ball Paul at 12 years old would have been top 10 Philly Sports Kings.
I thought you were going to make this list in good faith, and you clearly haven't.
Fuck you. No, that's bullshit. Because if Jalen Brunson is number 1 right now in New York, there's no reason why B-Ball Paul shouldn't be number 10. That's just ridiculous.
That's so stupid. You know how stupid that argument is.
What are you
that
talking
is,
about?
That
Jalen
is an
Brunson,
absolute, what the hell is wrong
Jalen
with
Brunson
you?
a month ago. Everybody was Mikal Bridges. Jalen Brunson has a couple good playoff series. Now he's number 1 in New York.
No.
Number 1 in New York.
Don't force me to try to become a Nova fan here to make this case. That's such bullshit. You know it. Jalen Brunson was a highly pursued player in the offseason.
Great player.
Who the Dallas Mavericks missed in every conceivable way.
No, his dad got a job on the Knicks. Same thing that happened at Temple. His dad got a job at Temple. He got caught assaulting a masseuse under the name Patrick Ewing, and then he got fired from Temple. So then Jalen Brunson goes to Villanova, wins the Player of the Year, and the rest is history. They did the same thing in New York. New York gave him a job.
Brunson was arguably the second best player on the Dallas Mavericks last year.
No one's debating this, Russ. We're debating who the Kings of New York are.
What I'm pointing out is that your point is stupid because Jalen Brunson was brought in to take the Knicks to the next level, and he did. He's actually led them to, a pretty darn good season. B-Ball Paul is a lovely story. B-Ball Paul is a lovely story. He's not a starter. He's like a fun, ancillary piece, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're talking
about the number 1 in New York versus the number 10 in Philadelphia. You think B-Ball Paul not right now number 10?
No.
People would be like, I love B-Ball Paul. People love B-Ball Paul. B-Ball Paul does numbers right now.
Apparently, Russ is like Doc. He doesn't want to have the B-Ball Paul victory tour. He's not going to have it. He's not going to. I
like B-Ball Paul, but
I
don't. I do.
Just to go to bat for Kyle a little bit here. I mean, it's a number 10 spot, so who cares?
It's a number 10 spot.
I'm
not even getting yelled at by Jimmy Butler. I'm getting yelled at by more B-Ball Paul. I'm actually surprised Bryce Harper being number 1 didn't ruin you guys a little bit there. Bryce Harper could literally, his social numbers are insane. He could queef. I put up a video of it, and it would do 1,000 clicks. Like it would do insane 10,000. Likes. It's insane how much Bryce Harper moves the needle right now. Our 1 through 5 was mostly similar. Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham. I don't know why I gave you shit about Brandon Graham. I didn't know I put him top 5. I'll be honest with you. Trey Turner at number 6, though. Trey Turner, that's again, No. You see, I go off on like a lot of like social, what does well on social and stuff. I'll be like, and you know, we don't really put up like, oh my God, Trey Turner home run. I put up like a half-ass like Trey Turner home run, and it did like 10,000 views, like no problem. It was kind of wild. I didn't know. I personally did not know how much pull Trey Turner has, but I think people really, really, really love Trey Turner. AJ Brown. One thing I think we did miss, Slay. People love Slay. You could argue Slay should be in the top 10. When he got cut, that was
I think
the
people love
vicious
Mrs.
24
Slay
hours.
too.
People
like
love Mrs. Slay too,
more
so you
than they
gotta
like Mr.
Yeah.
Slay. You have to
No,
remember too,
but
when
they're a
it looked like
package deal.
when it looked like he was leaving, when they were going to part ways, a lot of Eagles fans had a lot of nasty shit to say about Darius Slay. A lot.
Yeah, but a lot of people were
And
like,
then
"What
he
is Howie
re-signed,
doing?"
and then it was a lot of deleted tweets, and a lot of people say, "Well, we never really said that he wasn't." I mean, I don't agree.
Well, I mean,
I
like
think Slay
Well, those
before
are the
this
people-
offseason, maybe. But
Well,
those
not-
are the people who didn't win free giveaways or free tickets or free signed jerseys from Mrs. Slay.